Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another LeadSquared webinar. Many of you know me, so I am Shibani and I send you all those emails. I also work for the marketing team at LeadSquared. So we are launching ACE today, very excited. It's the all new sales performance enhancement suite. So you'll hear all about it today, not just from our presenter, not just from our product team, but also from some of our customers who have been using it. So let me just quickly go through some of the things that you will come to know about. You'll hear from us today. So we will obviously talk about ACE. We'll give you a quick walkthrough on the ACE architecture. We will talk about setting it up for your teams. You know how to set it up for daily, weekly, or monthly goals. The overall business impact, and that's the critical piece. Everyone wants to know what is the impact. So we will of course discuss that. Major use cases across industries. And to end it all, we have three special guests joining us towards the end who are our customers who have sort of tried it in the beta program phase. And they will share their learnings and their experience during that time. Now, to take us through the session is Abhishek Jain, who is the Senior Product Manager at LeadSquared. He also leads the ACE team. So we have like a really big team who head this product. But to kick started off today, we have Abhishek. So Abhishek, let's hear it from you. Can you please tell me about your LeadSquared experience? And of course, how did the journey of ACE start?
Yeah, certainly. I hope I'm audible, first of all.
Yeah.
Yes. And first of all, thank you all. I see around 200 folks here, and I see the number will also increase by the time goes. So first of all, thank you all. Thank you all for joining, and I hope everyone is doing great. So yeah, to answer Shubhani's question, so I've been part of LeadSquared for more than 2 years, 2.5 years to be precise, right? And I think we started the ACE journey. ACE journey has not been a very straightforward journey. Like we worked on a lot of analytics problems first. I remember like during the initial days of LeadSquared, we were trying to solve a lot of analytics problems, understand what kind of analytics challenges our customers are facing. And slowly and steadily, we realized that there's a need for objective management, goals management, and incentive, and a kind of a performance management tool. And that's how basically we started our journey. And to be very honest, like we used to call this entire platform or product sales performance suite. ACE is a name that we have given it very recently. And the whole idea essentially is to ace your team's performance and ace your business metrics at the end of the day, right? So that's literally what the product aims to do, and that literally is what the product called.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am sure I'm sure there's a lot to learn from you today, and we're all really excited to know more about ACE. Just before I leave, quick housekeeping item. So everyone who's joined in, if you want to say something nice, please put that on chat. If you have questions, then put that under the question tab, because that's just easier for us to identify them. There are a lot of emojis, so just tell us how you are liking the session. And we have, like I said, the whole team of ACE is here. So if you have questions, please put them up and the team will address them on chat. And lastly, we have customers joining at the end. We have customers from Upgrad, Unacademy, and Twin Health. So you'll hear from them as well. With that, Abhishek, I'm going to go to the background. Just call me if you need something, but over to you.
Thank you so much, Shivani. Thank you so much. Awesome. So let's begin. Let's start talking about ACE. So as I've already introduced, ACE is a sales performance suite, a new offering by LeadSquared, right? So before essentially we start talking about what ACE is, I would like to quickly help you understand the agenda of the day of the webinar. So basically, we are quickly going to introduce ACE, what ACE is, and how does it improve your sales efficiency, and what kind of business outcomes that it drives, right? And very importantly, we're going to give you a live demo, right? Like I hope the internet is stable and all our my browser is stable, but we'll try to give you a live demo, and that's basically the idea. And post that, essentially, we have. So as you know that this is a new offering by LeadSquared. So we had run a beta program in the last couple of months, and we have done a beta program with more than 20 customers. But we have out of those 20 customers, at least we have 3 customers and their representatives who will be joining us in a panel discussion. Karthik, Gaurav, and Suraj. So they'll be joining us for the panel discussion, and in this particular discussion, we'll just understand how their experience has been with ACE goals specifically in the last 3 months, and what kind of business outcomes they have derived out of it, right? So that's precisely the agenda of today's conversation, today's webinar. And also, just if you have any questions, we have our moderators to answer your question. Please feel free to drop your questions, drop your thoughts, drop your suggestions in the chat box, and we'll like each of those questions and chat bots, we'll try to address them, right? So yeah, having said that, moving on. So before, again, I would actually like to take a step back, right? I mean, what is LeadSquared? LeadSquared, essentially, we as LeadSquared, the tool as LeadSquared essentially aims to improve sales efficiency. And we essentially call ourselves a sales efficiency improvement product altogether, in general, a LeadSquared, right? So for the last many years of LeadSquared existence, right? So we have essentially try to improve sales efficiency at each step of a sales process or a sales journey, right? And we have a lot of offerings around that. So on the capture side of your prospects and your leads, we have campaigns, we have landing pages, we have portals, and a lot of other high-tech tools to make sure that you have zero lead leakages, right? And again, on the process side, once you have captured all your leads, it is important that that those leads and those prospects are handled in the business process that you want, right? And we essentially have forms and process automations and a lot of developer platforms and connectors for you to be able to do that. And that essentially, again, we try to improve your efficiency at a process level, at a business process level, right? And then once you have that process in place, you start interacting with your prospects, you start interacting within your team, right? And again, on those aspects, we have our smart views, converse, chatbots, and a lot of other things where the interaction efficiency at an interaction level is improved, right? Now, obviously, these are all, if I have to take an analogy, these are all point A to point B efficiency. Now, what ACE aims to do is it aims to improve your efficiency at your team's level, right? At your users level, at an individual level. You can call it a last mile efficiency as well, right? If you had to. So that's basically another ACE up our sleeves. And again, a similar kind of tool to improve efficiency at a user level, like how we have automations, campaigns, portals, and other tools with LeadSquared. This is another tool that we are trying to help and improve sales efficiency at users level. So as essentially I've said, with this, we want you to plan better as a team, as an individual. We want you to not rely on Excel sheets to track your goals, to track your achievements, as a matter of fact, incentives, right? We don't want you to do all those things with Excel, because what we have learned before also building this tool, we had learned that at least on a day-to-day basis, right? A sales manager would spend at least 1 to 2 hours managing the Excel sheet itself, right? If they're managing a daily goal, and if they're managing weekly goal, then through a week, easily 3 to 4 hours, it would take them to accumulate all the achievements, set the targets, and all of those sorts. So at that level, we are trying to improve the efficiency, and also there's a psychological effect when everyone has a very clear objective. So things work better, right? So that is another way that we're trying to improve efficiency. So enough about this ACE as a product. Now let me essentially talk about what do we have to offer over the time, right? So as you all know that we have been working on ACE for quite some time now. And these are all the offerings that essentially we aim to come up with ACE. Currently, we are live with goals and achievements, or you can call it objectives, right? We essentially are live with this. And soon we'll have incentives and gamification tools and nudges and insights and forecasting and a user performance analytics platform as well, right? So these are all in our roadmap. We'll aim to build that, and this is essentially going to be a product suite that we are trying to offer. But today is all about ACE goals, right? Today is all about ACE goals. How you set goals, how do you measure achievements? So having said that, I would like to quickly talk about, before I essentially jump onto the demo, right? I would just like to spend 2 minutes to help you understand how the product has been built. And that is very important to add trust on the product and to help you understand this essentially will work in all the cases for you, right? So One important piece, fundamental piece that we have seen as a problem when a lot of our customers try to use any tool, be it Excel or any other third-party tool, to improve their sales performance, efficiency, or set goals and achievements, they have to have use at least 2 to 3 systems separately along with LeadSquared. So we have made sure that this particular tool works seamlessly with LeadSquared. You post your activities, you post your tasks, make your changes in your lead, and those things gets reflected, right? So it is built to work very seamlessly with LeadSquared. That's essentially the idea. And obviously now you don't have to what do you say, jumble with your Excel, or if you have a third-party tool, separate logins for that. Everything works within LeadSquared, and that's basically what I'll show you in the demo. I'll open LeadSquared platform and I'll essentially access this particular tool. And apart from that, we have ensured that as LeadSquared is, right, we have also ensured that this entire tool is built at a user-centric level, and the entire user experience of the platform is taken and built to the T, right? And so that all the different, because we understand that goals and objectives are something that constantly changes. You might have a goal today for defined for a week, but then the next week the goals and the rules to measure your goals essentially changes. So it should not be that you have to go back to your admin on a regular basis, or you have to reach out to us on a regular basis to make some modifications. The tool is built in such a way that you yourself will be able to, as a manager or as an admin, would be able to make some rule configuration changes that essentially you want to, and also change your goals. So you might have, let's say, $100,000 worth of revenue to be generated in a month, but all of a sudden you realize that you essentially can do more. So you can change it from $100,000 to $150,000 for that month, right? So that those things are very easily configurable and changeable, right? That's the ease of use and scalable, as this has always been important to all our customers, right? It works for any business at any stage, and it works with any kind of data. We have built this using big data technology, and like the whole idea of this particular product is to work at scale. How many ever inflow of data that you might have, we'll try to cater that, right? That's basically the fundamental philosophy, or 3 core building blocks of our product. So yeah, moving on. We talked about product, but what does it do? I mean, what exactly are we trying to achieve, right? And essentially, these are the 3 major things that we're essentially trying to do. We're trying to improve the efficiency, as we have already said. We don't want you to use your Excel sheet. We want you to be seamlessly able to configure these things and measure these things automatically, right? And obviously, we want you to be able to plan very easily, because when you set goals for your team, they know what they're supposed to do today, in the week, in the month, and in the year, and in the quarter, right? That's again one of the another important outcomes and the changes that essentially we try to bring with this particular tool. And transparent communication. When you say that, when you say to your team that, hey, you're supposed to achieve this much amount of revenue, or this much amount of call you're supposed to do, the sales user, the managers, and everyone should be very clear. Okay, this is what I have done. There's no back and forth, because everything is automated here, right? Nobody can manually change those numbers. When you're doing these things with Excel, essentially there's a good room for error, and all those error-prone touch points have been removed because of this, right? So these are the 3 major business outcomes that essentially we try to drive with this particular tool. So yeah, that's about ACE, and that's entirely about what exactly we are trying to do. Now we are almost there, and we are moving towards our demo. So as I already mentioned, that this particular demo and this particular webinar is all about ACE goals, introducing the ACE as a sales performance product suite. But currently we are live with just goals, and let's talk about goals. So yeah, so before I share my browser and show you the demo of the product, I would like to also highlight our beta partners. These are the customers whom we have actually worked with in the last 3-4 months, and these folks have essentially been there and has helped us stabilize the product and has given us a lot of feedback, and we have worked on those things, and we have very thankful to them and confident about this product, right? And obviously along with that, essentially we have folks from an academy, Twin Health and Upgrad, to join and talk about the same, right? So yeah, so with this, let's move to demo. Okay, I think before we jump to the demo, I think we can talk about one important piece. I know I'm doing this. I mean, this is just to keep you all excited about the demo, but this is the last slide before the demo. We're gonna go to the demo now after this slide, but before we go to the demo, it is important to understand what can you do with the product, right? In the demo, considering the limited time that we have, we'll be able to show you just one use case, but the product is not just about that use case, right? These use cases are actually in front of you. So you could track your revenues, you could track your calling targets, you could track your funnels, basically lead funnels at any given stage, and you could track your demos. So majorly all the touch points that essentially you would have, or some of the key metrics that essentially you would have that you would want to track, is what this product will allow you to do. And I'll just quickly highlight a couple of goals that have been created, and these are actually the goals that have been created by folks who have been our beta partners, and this is just a consolidation of all those different goals that were created. So yeah, so we, in the calling targets, you essentially can track the total phone call duration. You essentially can say your sales team or your sales individual will have to do, let's say, at least 120 minutes of phone call in a day, right? Or that could essentially extrapolate to a week as well. So these are some of the things on the calling side. And on the funnel side, you essentially can very simply have you generated, how many number of new leads that you generate, like how many leads that you touch as a target. That could be you. You could essentially say that in a week you should have an interaction with at least say 100 leads, right? So that essentially could be your target for your sales team. So these are all the different kinds of goals, or I would rather say metrics, that you would be able to define your objectives or goals on and measure them, right? So yeah, so now that is now essentially we move to our demo aspect. But before we jump on to showing you exactly what the product looks like, it is important to understand like a example hierarchy, right? So this is one of the example hierarchy that essentially have taken into account, right? And now, as you can see here, this is a typical organization hierarchy. Now here, there's a CEO who would have some target. In this case, let's say it's $70 million, and he essentially would then use that $70 million for a year and break that down into a monthly goal for his entire team. So Ray is essentially giving that 70 million yearly target to Terry, Charles, Amy, and Rosa, his reportees basically, and they are country heads, right? And now they, instead of getting a yearly target, they get a monthly target. And that essentially funnels down to their respective teams. So Terry, who has got $1.6 million worth of monthly target, breaks that down for his team. So imagine if he has 4 members under his team, then he just says that, okay, fine, 1.6 divided by 4, my team's individual's monthly target is 400,000, right? And that essentially then funnels down to Jake's team. And Jake just doesn't track revenue, he also tracks leads. Because what Jake knows is the more leads you generate, the more the chances of you converting those leads, and the more the chances of generating the revenue. So he does a small mathematics here and exercise, and then just says that if my conversion ratio is 4%, and if my order value is average order value is $1,000, then I'll just basically figure out how many leads has to be generated by each sales rep in a week, right? And that's basically what happens here. And he assigns the targets. So that's basically what essentially would happen here. And these are all the goals that essentially would be created at various organization hierarchy level. So with that, let me now showcase how essentially this would be created, right? So what we have done when we were building this product, we realized one important thing is that sales managers are good at managing things. Sales managers are good at following up. Sales managers are good at essentially handling the tough spots and the situations. And we don't want our managers to essentially worry about what the configuration will be, what the rules will be, right? So we have essentially decoupled the entire process creation. So the rules could be created by admin, and the goals, if needed, could be created by the manager, or again can be created by admin, right? So that decoupling has been taken care. And just to let you know, if Ray essentially wants to create a revenue goal, all he has to do is he has to just define briefly what the goal is to the administrator. And in this case, we have Gina as an administrator, and she will just go ahead and create the template or the rule for that particular manager, and he can start using it. And similarly, if in this case, as I mentioned, Jake essentially has done some mathematical calculations and decided that this is the weekly target for leads that I essentially will have, right? And that again, he just simply communicates to the administrator, this is essentially going to be my rule, and which is basically count leads if stage is prospect, right? And in this case, Ray essentially says sum the order value of sales activity if the status of the sales activity is 1 and the lead stage is customer. So these are some of the interaction that essentially we have captured here that would essentially go before you create a goal, right? So yeah, so I guess this essentially covers our entire journey of creating a goal and creating the rules, right? So that's basically the idea here. Now, before I jump onto the product, let me essentially show you what exactly the goal screen would look like, right? So this is just a snapshot, but allow me a second to share my reshare my screen and show you the live demo of our product. So I believe you're able to see the screen, right? So let me actually first show you Jake Ray's profile, right? So I'm logging into Ray's account now, which I have logged out, but that's okay. Just take hardly a second. So I've gone into goals, and now I'm actually opening Ray's account. So the hierarchy that I essentially showed you and the configuration in the product essentially matches. So this is your yearly goal for Ray, and this is his country goal. Let me essentially open country level goal. You would have seen that he had given a monthly goal, and we have created a backdated goals. So as you can see here that there are already 10 months that have passed in the last financial for this financial year, and we're in the 10th month of the financial year, and that's essentially what Ray has created. And this is the current goal of Ray and his team, right? So these are the achievements of individual folks, and the goals that were given to them was 1.6 million each, right? So as you can see here, this is essentially what we talked about in the hierarchy. If you can see here. Yeah, so this is the hierarchy that we are talking about, and Ray had allocated 1.6 million to his team, and that's basically what we're seeing here. Now I'll actually also jump to Terry's profile. And I'll show you how Terry looks at his team's goal, and this is Terry's goal. And after this, I'm essentially also want to show you how the goals are created. Now let me go to Jake. And as you can see, Jake had created 2 goals, right? He created a revenue goal for his team, and he also created a lead generation goal for his team. So let me first open revenue goal. This is the revenue goal that Jake had created, and this is the lead generation goal that he had created for his team, right? So as you can see, same users, but different goals. I'll actually now also log into Doug, who's reporting to Jake, to show you what Doug would essentially see, right? Doug is an individual user. He would essentially see just the card and he would see what exactly he has to do the achievement. So this is Doug's profile, and as you can see, when Doug opens his revenue goal, he sees that this is his achievement, and he exactly has to post the activity in this manner with these conditions. That's when his achievement will be tracked, right? And similarly, he will let me open the lead generation. I think this account is logged out, but I can very easily. No worries there. Hardly take a second. Yeah. So I'll also log into the lead generation goal. And this is a different condition, as you can see, right? So for this, the lead stage has to be in prospect. So Doug knows what exactly he has to do, right? So and he also sees his achievements. So that's basically the idea here. Now this is done. Before we start our panel discussion, we have another 5 minutes, and I would love to show you a live demo. So before the live demo of creating the goal, creating the templates, let me show you what exactly is the current achievement. So right, so if you see the current achievement of Ray and his team, Ray's current achievement is $50 million for this till this month, and this month's achievement is $6 million, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the goals, and I'm also going to post a sales activity for say $50,000 at individual user level, and 4 users essentially translate into 200,000. And what you would see here is you would see $6.2 million as an achievement and $50.2 million as an added achievement across the organization hierarchy, right? Across the entire organization hierarchy, which is basically imagine Doug, Sophia, Teddy, and Trudy doing their activities, sales activity, posting a $50,000 worth of activity individually, and that essentially getting translated to Jake, which essentially gets translated to Terry, and then to the CEO. So that's the roll up that essentially would happen, and that is something that I would like to show it to you. So yeah, so let me first show you how do you create a revenue template in the first place, right? So I've actually logged into the admin, because admin essentially can create revenue templates. There are a lot of templates here, but let me create a quick template for you. Okay. And I just have to add my first goal rule here. It's a revenue goal. We know it's sum, and then I'll add my entity. So essentially here I'll select activity and then activity on lead, and I'm going to select sales activity. And as you know, Ray told the admin that order value is something that essentially needs to be tracked here, and sales owner field will essentially identify the user, and sales date will identify the date. Now let me quickly add the condition. So the condition here are 2. So basically sales activity is status is 1. And also the lead stage should be customer. Now, obviously, it is important that these both condition matches. It's not or, it's going to be and. So let me add and here. So you could add any complex condition you would want, right? 1 and 2 or 3 of those sorts. So there's no restrictions there. So I've configured this, and you can see the goal rule has been successfully created, and this exactly is what the conditions were. And I'm going to publish this template. Yes, publish this template. So once the published template is published, this could be used by all the managers. So I created this revenue template. So let's remember this name, revenue template, and I'm going to use this revenue template to create the goal. So let me actually log into Charles' profile. Charles is another sales manager in our example organization hierarchy. And let me go to Charles, and Charles essentially has not created any goals so far for his team. So this is what his blank state would look like. Now let me say revenue goal. And then let me just select the same template, right? So we created this template, as you know, and I'll use this template. And since this is going to be a yearly goal divided into months, right? So I'm going to just select 1st January till the end of December. Let's say that's basically my goal. So I've selected that. Now I just select the users. So I don't want Charles the manager to be part of this goal, only the folks who are reporting to the manager. One another important thing that we have added is we know that a lot of data are usually in Excel sheets. So what we have done is we also have an Excel import functionality. So let me essentially just import the Excel and show you that uh, very easily you'll be able to configure these goals, right? So before I import the Excel, let me essentially show you that there is no data here. So all the data had to be added. Now essentially there's all the data that is there. So because of the Excel sheet, and now you can see all the individual goals, individual cycles, individual months goals have been allocated, and all the users have got their goal, right? So let me publish this goal. So now you can see that there's no achievement because we have just created the goal. Individual users would have received their goal, and once they start uh, posting the achievement, that's or posting the sales activity, that's when the achievement will move. And that's essentially what I'm going to show you now, right? So just to reiterate, the current achievement of Ray is 93.8 and 71.4 for a yearly goal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Doug's profile, which is basically at this level of the organization hierarchy. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to post $50,000 for each of these folks, which essentially adds up to 200K to Jake, 200K to Terry, and 200K to Ray. That's basically what I'm going to do. So let me go to the administrator and let me essentially, I've already created these things for you. So all I have to do is I have to click on save for Doug against Doug's name. I have to click on save against Sophia's name. I have to click on save against Teddy's name, $50,000. I have to click on save against Trudy's name, right? So that with that, essentially, let me now go to Doug. And I have not refreshed the screen. As you can see, Doug's achievement currently is 500. Okay, this is the lead goal. Let me refresh the screen. And let me just wait for a second. And I think the achievement should be updated. It usually takes some time. So what usually happens, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for the goals to update, right? And I am confident that this should happen. And considering the live demo, this essentially would be a bit of a trick. I think it has been updated now. Yes. So you saw that 75%, and now essentially it's 115 for Doug. So now let's climb to Jake, who's the manager of Doug. You see that the achievement has increased to 125%. Let me now climb to Terry and show you. It was 1.3, now it will become 1.5. Yes, right. So this basically has happened to Terry. And also, as you can see, Jake, because of Jake's contribution, this essentially has happened here. Now, obviously, I'll go to the CEO's level. I'll refresh the screen, and you will see six. It's currently 6 million. You will see 6.2, and there you will see 50.2. Sorry, yeah, 50, yeah, 52, 50.2. Yeah. So this basically is the roll up that has essentially happened for the entire organization hierarchy, right? So yeah, this essentially was our demo. This is exactly what you could do, and this is just one of the use case. Imagine you can now start imagining how this essentially would fit for your entire organization hierarchy, and you can reach out to your account managers or your POCs to get a trial for this particular product, and we would love to see you using this, and love to see you improving your sales efficiency on a regular basis. So thank you so much. That basically was our demo. Now I'll just quickly invite our panelists. So basically we have with us Karthik, we'll have with us Gaurav, and we have Suraj. So Karthik is from Upgrad. He's a business development manager there. And Gaurav is a senior strategic manager for and programs at An Academy. And we have Suraj, who's a program manager for sales at Twin Health, right? So I guess we'll have them on the stage. Shivani, we have Gaurav, I believe.
Just getting them on stage. I'd like to also introduce Siddharth, who is also a product manager here. So, hey, Siddharth,
Awesome.
you were there for the demo, and now feel free to join the panel. I think we are missing one other person. So, that's Karthik. Great. You're good to go.
Awesome.
Great. I think we can start now.
Welcome, Karthik. Welcome, Suraj.
Hi,
Hi.
Abhishek.
Abhishek, hey
Hi,
guys.
everyone.
Hi guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much for joining. So, before essentially we start, let me again thank you all for helping us through the beta program and being our partner and giving us a regular feedback, right? So, like before we essentially start our discussion, would love to understand how has your experience been with LeadSquared Ace goals? Anyone can start.
So I would like to add to this, like, first of all, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody is safe. Yeah, so if you talk about, am I audible properly?
Yes, Karthik, you're audible.
Yeah. So the experience has been very good. I have been connected to you guys for a longer time now. It's been one month or 1.5 months, and it's pretty going pretty smooth. I'm like using it with the team. A lot of people from my team have started using it. You talk about time saving. You talk about all the like work we had to do before this. Like we have partially reduced that time. We have improved the productivities on that basis. And be it like whatever we are handling, be it the talk times of the people who are reporting to us, be it the FOS sessions or whatever you work on basically, as per the telling calling part. So that has essentially improved a lot. So what I would rate, like what I would suggest in one word is like it's been a totally time saving experience for me, as it was a hectic day before this where I used to like work and run reports for half of an hour, and now I'm able to do it in 5 minutes by just a click and all. So that is a great achievement for me, saving my time out there.
So glad to hear that, Karthik. Really appreciate your kind words. Uh, Gaurav, Suraj, would you like to share your thoughts?
I mean, before we open up possibly more precise questions, uh, uh, I think this ACE product in itself, right? I think certainly one for the future. I think this is a word I've told umpteen number of times to Siddharth. One for the future, because moving away from a lot of Google Sheets, manual tracking, and again, it's a very person-dependent thing, right? It's as much as
Correct.
like I think Karthik just mentioned that he was having a hectic time, right? It's a very person-dependent. If he decides to take a week off, I mean, things are going to go for a toss,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where we're trying to move that sort of away and let things sort of run by itself, and people can start evaluating, right? And that's where I think this sort of takes the route, right? And yeah, I think so far so good. I'm happy to be part of the beta phase. Yeah, I mean, a lot of ups and downs and learnings, right? I think that's more important. And honestly, I think that wouldn't have happened without people like Siddharth, who was really in close touch with me in this phase, where constant reiteration, coming ahead and driving timelines, right? Because driving timelines in a startup is very tough. Be it LeadSquared, be it another startup, even including ours, right? So a lot of time we face that issue, and having that person who plays as an enabler only gets things better. So I mean, thanks all in all.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Suraj. I think that means a lot to me. But yeah, we are more than happy to actually get that feedback around the product as well, right? So we understand how technology drives things these days, right? I mean, all those Excel sheets and all, right? They've been pretty old solution, right? All that stuff is going to go away, right? So yeah, I mean, definitely we are evolving, right? As you said that you've been a beta partner, right? And as we evolve, we are going to get more features, right? And improve more things on the lines that you've suggested. So yeah, that channel is on. That channel is on, right? Yeah. Thanks for the feedback again. Yeah.
Love to hear from Gaurav, one of
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
most, I would rather say, I mean, I would say this in a very positive manner, but very critical user, and gives us a lot of critical feedback and also helps us improve a lot. So I think, Gaurav, first of all, thank you for constantly helping us out. And whenever we reach out, there's a feedback from your side from your experience and all of those things. And he has also helped us in analyzing some other products as well. So please, Gaurav, over to you. Help
Yeah.
us understand your experience.
Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, Siddharth. Thanks, Suraj. Thanks, Karthik. I mean, like, I have been listening to all of you, and I think Suraj and Karthik almost cover like 90% of pain point which you guys are trying to solve, right? And I need to say, like, as an organization and as an individual, we are very hard to impress. I mean, like, now that you launch a beta product and you say it's something we are trying to solve, and that's the one part of the problem. But then when Siddharth came and told ki, so ideally with us it started like way back 6 months back. I was looking for some other vendors who will solve my pain point as a gamification product, and somehow there were no name of LeadSquared in that Excel sheet. But then we thought like let's ask, and then Siddharth told ki, "Yaar, we are doing something like that. Would you like to see the demo?" And then the conversation went on, and like he told us to give us a chance and all. So we saw कि हाँ ठीक है, it is covering a part of problem, it is solving us some part of problem, and we were glad कि okay, our in-house CRM partner is doing this, so why to go outside when we are getting everything here inbuilt? Because moving from a one software to other software, it's itself a pain point, right? So then we started working with Siddharth. Siddharth shows us the demos, and like we are on track. All I can say, what we are trying to build is definitely going to be a part of a sales future. Like be it any organization, it is very important to gamify the entire sales process, right? And it will help eventually. It is going to be a great motivation for the sales team, business development team, and I think we are on track. And like we have almost covered 25 to 30%, and everything is in pipeline. So great to see Abhishek and Siddharth. A lot of things are going to come up, and I think LeadSquared is going to lead this actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll lead this and we'll ace this both.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do that.
Yeah. So actually, to continue with the same conversation, right, Gaurav, and I'll ask the same question to Suraj and Karthik also. So first, so Gaurav, I think this question would not just help us to understand what is your perspective on this, but also folks who are from other edtech companies, right? I wanted to understand, like, what do you think would be, if you have to call out 3 critical metrics, right, on which you think that objectives or goals has to be set, right? Without that, maybe an edtech organization at least, right, they would essentially not be able to operate at an efficient level, or maybe the business essentially would have some challenges to meet their objective at an organization level, right? So if you had to name or pick top 3 goals or top 3 objectives, maybe for an edtech, right? Yeah.
Fair question, Abhishek. I mean, like, and as an ad tech company, particularly, we have, if you ask anyone, he'll say, I have 1,000 of things to track, right? But then at the same time, you have to optimize your tracking, right? Be it so like as a company, we always divide this into input and output metrics. And for us to drive that particular sales engine, it is very important. So if I have to choose any 3 metrics, particularly from my point of view or from an org point of view, we'll have like a top of the funnel. We want to see the number of leads like a particular person is getting, right? Then like what once it is assigned to a particular person or particular salesperson, or let's say particular team, or a particular team, how they are going to manage it. So critically, the talk time is one of the strongest metrics which we see, right? And the third is also, especially the output, is revenue. I mean, like, ultimately in sales, numbers matter, right? So it's kind of a principally aligned to the input. So if your input is good, output is going to reflect. And for these 3 metrics, you will absolutely need to track, and especially in the context of edtech. I mean, like,
Correct.
that seems very important. Though org by org it varies. I mean, like, definitely different team, different org have a different input metrics. But ideally, from the top to bottom of the funnel, this is something which we are looking into it.
I understand.
So I have a follow-up question on that. Sorry, Abhishek. Just one thing. So Gaurav, as you said, right, the track is right, and then you just explained a lot of metrics also that an academy is trying to maybe track. So how do you think this tool develop into maybe a single one-stop solution, right, for all the metrics that maybe you want to track right now, and also will it help you to find or explore more metrics, right, that you might track as well, right, or that we were not tracking earlier? Right? Could you comment on that as well?
No, absolutely, Siddharth. I mean, like, fair question, and I mean, like, it will give a wide opportunity to the audience present here also. So, kind of when you say, I said one metrics to be tracked, I tell you why it is important for me in terms of your CRM, particular LeadSquared. So, as in CRM, when I use a particular CRM, I have every data here, right? Right from what my salesperson is doing, right? Right from getting a prospect to right from talking to him, right to marking the disposition, as well as final payment. Everything in activity it's pushed to the LeadSquared or particular CRM I am using. Now, if I don't have this particular product, let's say gamification, for example, here, right? And I want to have a particular matrix to see. So every time I have to go, I have to download it, right? I have to put it somewhere, maybe Google Sheet, Excel, or maybe let's say I am using other software, let's say, for example, where I can upload the CSV file. So it's kind of taking a lot of manual intervention, right? What is the best here? You have all the activity, you know the logic, right? If you see the demo Abhishek showed us, all you need to is write a simple logic. Lead activity is X, lead activity is Y, and give me all the results of all those metrics. So this eventually saves a lot of time. So to drive a sales engine efficiently, operation is one part, or a program or operation, whatever you say. It's very important that you automate those processes, right? So that is eventually helping me. And why it is helping me? Because every data is present in my particular CRM, and that CRM is giving me this solution, right? Second thing is there will be a lot of metrics, and how I see based on the decision I'm getting. Well, let's say I got okay, this particular person is giving me a talk time of this. Let's say example in talk time terms. Then I can see where there is a miss from their side, maybe in outbound or inbound, anything, or in a particular XYZ, the average of the call. So let's say what is the trend going on week, right? And can I drive some strategic decision out of this? Any metrics, input or output, which I am tracking. So eventually this will help us rather than taking it manually, putting it somewhere else, then looking to make graphs, right? When you put on Google, it does not gives you a graph like you put the data, it will give you a graph. No, you have to select particular column and then you make a graph, right? If you have to put it in some software, it will also do the same. But why not do something which when we have an in-house CRM who is giving you all the solutions? So correct. I think that fairly answers your question.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Thanks.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Gaurav. And I think very interestingly, the input and the output part falls right on the bullseye. And in fact, we don't have that right now in the we didn't show that in the feature, but we used to call this efforts and results as well. Like when we begin our journey of building this product, so we used to call it efforts and results. So I think we are on the same page. Thanks again. So coming to Karthik and Suraj, I think I would like to understand the same from upgrad. Okay, I don't see Karthik now, but okay. So from Twin Health's perspective, right, Suraj, because this is a completely different industry now that you guys are working in. What would be some of the interesting metrics that essentially you track, which you think should be tracked, and also the ones that you track and do you think improves your business outcomes or business performance at the end of the day, revenue maybe, right?
Right. So Abhishek, so undoubtedly, right, I think for any telecalling sort of setup, number of calls is always a metric. Then the timeline in which, let's say, you call a new lead, right, that will always be two important things, whichever industry you're in. Apart from this, so this obviously are the two metrics that we also go by. That's the number of calls, then also the percentage of new leads. Apart from that, one important thing is the counselings. So Twin Health, we look into reversal of diabetes. Now, this would mean this is a very, it's a little different product possibly for Indians who do not really prioritize health, right? And that's where the counseling that we ideally call, which can be anything between 6 to 8 counselings in a given day. Tracking this becomes a very important number because this is also our pipeline so as to get sales, right? So it's a simple number. Let's say if somebody was doing 6 counseling, which is considered a good number across the week, obviously the next week this person would have a good output, which is conversions. Now, when we see a 2 or 3 days break of this falling down, obviously the pipeline also gets hit, right? Which does not hit immediately, but possibly 2 to 3 days after that. And that's the day when you start looking at and you say that, hey, his inputs are good, but why was there no conversion? For that, you got to go to the past data. And that's one section where the gamification of, let's say, the ACE, right, where you can go ahead, you can go and easily toggle between which are the dates you want to select and what are the numbers across, right? That helps in there. And imagine the same thing just being done on a sheet, right? I mean, it just doesn't look good, because in a sheet you look at so it's not really impressive. So that's where this I think platform as such helps a lot. But yeah, these are the three main things that we look at, apart from also task adherence. So the number of tasks a person has for a given day, how much is the completion, etc. So these are the 4 core things that we look at. So counseling is one thing that we might sort of focus a lot on, because this is an important metric for us.
I mean, I think this is very, very insightful and interesting. Like when we started building this product, we never knew that there will be a slight way we could essentially impact people's health. And if in some or other way this tool is doing that, I think like we'll be like really, really happy about that. Thanks again, Suraj, for those insights. Coming to Karthik, right? I think though Upgrad is also in the same edtech domain, but I think the businesses are very different, Karthik, right? So because I think compared to an academy, at least for now. So would you like to comment on the kind of metrics essentially you track, which you think should be tracked by edtechs, and also which improves your business efficiency at the end of the day?
So Abhishek, I guess like Suraj and Gaurav has already covered a lot of points. And if you talk about edtechs, you talk about a lot of input matrix. As Gaurav also suggested, like input is always output, like equal to the output. What we put out there, we get out there, right? So the matrix, or what are the things that we track on a daily basis? And as I already told in the starting also, it has become like, it was way hectic, and now it has become very easy for me also. And I've started pushing out to the team also. So on a daily basis, we track out on the talk times, we track out on the counseling calls, as Suraj also mentioned, because that is like where we get the results. And what I like the most about it is like, on a daily basis, when like people are not that motivated to work, but still they see their goals for a daily basis, that this is what needs to be done today, or this is what needs to be achieved. And that numbers that we track, like on a daily basis, we are seeing that this is 40% is completed, and the person feels happy about that. I have completed this much of amount of my work for today, and this is what I need to complete out after that. That comes on a date-to-date basis, on a daily basis. In the morning, they are getting that, they're going on that sheet, they are checking it out. And it was very hectic to be tracked before this, where we were running it out on Google Sheets, or we were using Excel or spreadsheets to download the data first, do the hectic pivot tables and everything, and then show it to the team that this is how it is going on. The tracks, like if you talk about the tracks, like what motivates in sales is of course the number at the end of the day, right? And numbers coming in with the terms of talk time, or the numbers coming in terms of the outputs or the sale numbers, or like whatever the conversions we are getting, converting people from prospects and marking them out and getting them to the customer stages. That is what builds the motivation for the team also. And it, like, I totally work inside and out with that part, and this has completely improved in a lot of sense, tracking out the inputs to get the outputs in a line form. Having it distributed to the whole team, I can assign the goals to the senior people on a longer basis, or like I can assign them leads, or like what can be the part where I can track that how much I need to assign, or how much I have assigned from the last week, and what has improved in that part. And Suraj, I like the point that Suraj mentioned. Basically, he told that the track, like we have been following up a track, and this is the counsel that we are getting from last 5 days, and this is the result that we have got. So after 2 days, if you're not getting the results, we have to dig out the past data. And the way you show it in the ACE, when you scroll it up, you can see the weekly performances, you can see the like daily performances. So there we can pinpoint it to the people who are reporting to us that this is where the miss went, or this is where the thing went haywire. So that is what we can sort it out, and we can talk to them. And like if you talk about edtech sectors, if you talk about the matrices, what we track, and it's going to be similar to all of us. Like I would like, everybody agrees to that. That is the talk time parts, or the counsel parts, or the video calls we are tracking right now, like FOS sessions and everything, what we do on a daily basis. So that is what is getting tracked. So Upgrad currently is working on also the sales numbers and the revenue parts where they're tracking it on a daily basis, like how much is coming in, how much like the people are contributing. And these goals are helping me recognize people a lot. I'll tell you that. Because the people who are performing, I can see them on the top part. I can see them, I can recognize them to the organization also. I can recognize them in the team as well. And that motivates them a lot. So yeah, so that brings a lot of points into the picture.
No, I think you started with saying, Karthik, a lot of points have been already mentioned, but I think you touched upon some very interesting pieces, right? Talking about the motivation aspects, right? In fact, I was trying to just correlate like wearing a Fitbit, right? And it tells me that if I set a target of 20,000 steps or 10,000 steps a day, right? Like I hardly ever complete, but the days when I have time and if I see that I've completed 50% and there's some time that I can essentially spare, then I would try to at least cover those steps. So I think the same thing would work in a sales setup as well, right? So that was very interesting take, I would say, right? And the other aspect is also like that is for a sales user, and then similarly for the sales manager, being able to see the outperformers, being able to recognize the outperformers, and also working on the people who are not able to perform or who are lagging, right? That again is definitely one piece that we are trying to bring out through this product.
So I would like to add to this point also, like where I used to run sheets and everything, where I used to like download the data and like this, these are the people who have been top performing from last these 5 or 10 days. Now I can like see it on one page. I can share it to the team with a screenshot, and they are like happy to see it and happy to see the names coming on top. So that has also improved when you talk about motivational part there. So yeah.
Absolutely, Karthik. No, so I just wanted to add one more point, what exactly, I feel about motivation, because I know sales is all about motivation, right? I mean, when people are not motivated, I don't know, they're going to run for, whatever you want them to, right? I remember having a conversation with Gaurav, and he very straightforwardly brought this point up that, hey, can I sort this data percentage wise, right? Can I just see on this particular dashboard who are my top performers? I mean, I know how the team is performing, but can I see those top 3-4 performers? And Gaurav, if you remember, right, we were sorting on that dashboard, and I just showed you, right, percentage wise who are the top performers. So I think this is a very important point that you brought up, Karthik. And yeah, I mean, this is noted. We are still evolving on the same part, right? We are coming up with newer, better features, right, to highlight this as well. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So I think we are about the time of our webinar. Any closing thoughts, Gaurav, Suraj, or Karthik, that you would like to add? Or any feature request also would be fine.
Yeah.
I have put a lot of feature requests. So it's to Suraj and Karthik to add feature request. I think I have already shared. But to all the people who have joined this webinar, I mean, to be very frank, I mean, LeadSquared is trying to literally solve one of the pain point for sales industry particularly, business industry particularly, or consumer segment. The fact is we don't want to rely on 100 software to do our things. We want to rely on one single CRM who is going to help me with everything, be it a data presentation, be it a gamification, be it a motivational factor which come out of these gamification softwares. So I think on the right track, and all the feature request is already in pipeline, Abhishek and Siddharth. Hope to see that very soon.
Absolutely.
I was sure when I say feature request, I'll have someone to comment on that. That's right. But no, really appreciate your feedback, Gaurav. Really appreciate your points as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I second that to all the points what Gaurav mentioned. Just adding on that, and one very important thing is that the more you keep things competitive, right, and that's where things work brilliant, right? And
Correct.
this entire thing is when we call gamification, that also says that who is 1, 2, 3, 4, and similarly bottom performers, right? So
Yes.
competition, building that skill around it, and super thought around starting off this product. But yeah, the game is not done till we're actually getting into that last stage, right? That is moving from the beta to the pro version, giving real time sort of updation. And I'm sure, I mean, we are reaching there. It's just in no time where it's grown so much, the product. Awesome, and keep going. I mean, we're looking forward to a lot more update very soon.
Thank you so much, Suraj. And yeah, we know this is just day one. Just begin. Yes.
Yeah.
So just as Suraj mentioned, to like add to the points, I would like in sales you don't ever talk about the comfort anything related to that, but I would like to talk about the comfort part there. That the comfort part is basically me opening up a LSQ, me opening up LeadSquare, and me like staying on that same page and getting everything done. That is the whole idea. Matlab, it's not like me opening up 10 tabs and getting the same hectic schedule going on a daily basis. So that is what you guys are sorting out, and that has been great improvement to me and to my team as well. Like 150 plus people who have started using this, and they have started flowing out the way we used to handle things. We used to, but now we are handling it in a more appropriate way, I would say. And it was great and glad to be the part of the beta team. And if you talk about the features, I'll stay connected to Siddharth about like keep calling him about the features to be updated, and surely will improve it on that part.
Sure, Karthik. Absolutely. That channel is always open.
Yeah,
That's what
sure.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I think all of us, all of our team today, I think they will have a good sleep. I think listening to all the great things that you guys have said. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for your time more than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will jump in now. So thank you so much. Firstly, first time moderators, Abhishek, Siddharth, you guys did a fabulous job. And congratulations to the entire team of ACE. Job well done. So thanks so much. And I can't thank our customers enough. Gaurav, Suraj, Karthik, thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing your story. With that, we conclude the session. Thank you so much to the audience also for sticking around. Please email me if you have any questions, and I will pass them on to the experts. With that, let's call it a day. Take care, everyone. Bye bye. Have a good weekend.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Take care. Bye.